All right, I think we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another Facebook Live. I'm Sharon, and I'm super excited to be joined by HMR CEO Ryan Niparts. You may remember Ryan joined a Facebook Live back in January when we first relaunched the HMR business under new ownership. And we're now 6 months in, and Ryan wanted to have the chance to reconnect with our community again. Since we've reopened in the past 6 months, we've had our share of inventory challenges, which we're really happy to have behind us. And we've also had the opportunity to work on some product improvements. So with all that change in the last 6 months, we thought it was a great time to bring Ryan back just to share some insights around the changes that we've faced, how things have been going the last 6 months, and then what's on the horizon for HMR. So ahead of time, we have gathered your questions and comments in the Facebook group. So we will be addressing some of those in the event. But as you're joining, I'll still be looking at the comments. So feel free to add your questions. I'll respond to them afterwards and just say hi as you're joining us. Let us know where you're joining from. So Ryan, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk a little bit about the past 6 months.
Yeah, Sharon, thanks for having me. It's great to join. It's great to talk to the community directly. And I actually will correct you. It's been 7 months because we started this in January and it is now the last day of July. I can't believe that. So wow. The past 7 months have been remarkably rewarding and busy is what I'll say. When we inherited HMR under this new ownership group, things were in disarray, to be candid with you. The business was in the midst of a shutdown, and there was not a new ownership group there to step up to the plate and restart things. And when I joined you back in January, I think it was, we discussed how difficult it was going to be to start things back up. And I don't think I underestimated that because it has been challenging. Going to a business that is essentially being terminated and then turning things back on was no small task. We had to talk to all of our employees that were recently terminated and say, hey, would you like to rejoin HMR because we're relaunching it? We had to go to our manufacturers and say, not so fast. We're actually going to be manufacturing products again here in the very near future, and getting into the manufacturing schedules with each of these vendors was no small task. We also had to talk to our customers, who many of you are on the phone or on the live with us today. Communicating with the customers was tricky because we had to re-pivot to a new way of doing things, and that HMR wasn't going away. HMR was here to stay. And after 39 years of the brand history, it actually was here. It's going to be turned back on, and be patient with us as we navigate these kind of choppy waters and getting things back going. But what I'll say is, I've never been a part of a business with more enthusiastic employees that are such champions of the brand and the program and the results. And when we started this, we really wanted to remain a mission-driven company, right? We are here to impact people's lives by delivering them fantastic nutrition, coaching, and products that enable them to achieve healthy outcomes, lose weight, improve their nutrition, and improve their lives. What I'll say today is, so far, mission accomplished in doing so. We've remained mission driven. We've turned back on the engine of HMR. And I think I used the analogy back in January that it's not as simple as turning a light switch on. There's a lot to do. The team has been so enthusiastic with doing that, and they have really rallied around our core common mission of delivering great nutrition, weight loss, and healthy outcomes for the group. And so what I'll say is, this has been the most rewarding 7 months of my professional career as we've gone down this path, because I've gotten to see the impact that this company and this brand has had on so many people. And I mentioned 39 years when the announcement was made in the fall. HMR just celebrated its 40th anniversary last month, or actually earlier this month. We had a group of employees together in Boston to celebrate. The rest of the team joined us virtually. And getting to that 40th anniversary was fantastic. Just seeing the relief in the room and the enthusiasm of the employees to know that this company that they care so dearly about has made it past that anniversary, and we're setting it up to have another 40 years going forward. And so what we'll talk about today is, why are we making changes? What are those changes? And why are those the right changes to make? HMR has delivered thousands and tens of thousands of fantastic outcomes for our customers, both in the direct-to-consumer setting, the Amazon channel, and the clinical setting. And there had to be tweaks had to be made to optimize the business and right-size it for the future. But at the end of the day, HMR is still the same HMR that everyone knows and loves. All these tweaks are just around the periphery as we get things back up and running. We work with our suppliers to make sure that inventory is available. We can produce going forward without any shortages. And we have the runway with our employees, with our stakeholders, and with our customers to ensure that the next 40 years look as bright as the previous 40. So I'm here today with a positive message, with a message of gratitude for all of our customers, to know that we're working really hard behind the scenes to deliver a fantastic program that is very familiar, that you all know and love. And our employees are rallying 100% behind the brand, behind the program, to ensure that continues. So again, it's a pleasure to be here. It's exciting to connect directly with the community. And I think there's going to be a lot in store for the future of HMR that many of you would be very excited about.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I know I can speak for myself and a lot of my colleagues that we're so excited to be back with HMR, have this last 7 months under our belt, and just continuing on. I'm super excited for everything that's to come. And obviously very relieved to have a healthy inventory back again. And we're just excited for what's on the horizon. So Ryan, do you mind just addressing some of the upcoming product and pricing changes that we can expect?
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. And I think as my job as CEO, with a community that's so engaged and invested in this company, it's important to be transparent. And so we're not doing any changes that we're not going to be communicating. When we know something's going to change, it's important for us to communicate it to the customers, to our stakeholders, to our clinical partners who administer these programs. So I think it's really important for me to continue to drive open communication into this ecosystem so that everyone knows what's happening when it's happening. And so I want to get out in front of these changes and make sure that you all know that this is what's happening. I think you noticed that we did go and tweak the formulation of the 120 shake a month or two back. That was done to really modernize the ingredient list and remove some allergens and make sure that it's a product that is fit for 2023 and beyond. And the response from the community has been fantastic. Along those same lines, we have an exciting update that will be tweaking the formulation of the 70 plus and 800 shakes. They will be the same exact rich taste, creamy texture. Everything ingredient wise will remain almost identical. We had our product team in person working with our manufacturer, doing countless taste tests over a number of weeks to ensure that if we are changing things slightly on the ingredient list, does the taste, texture, and consistency remain the same? And I can say with confidence that it does. These are, another one of the changes is moving to a different sweetener. This has been a change that many of you have been requesting for some time, and it was just the right time to do it as we embarked on this new age and new era of HMR. The packets are changing slightly. Some of you may have heard this in the communications that we're going from 18 packets to 7 packets. This is truthfully just a better alignment with what we're doing as far as diet plans. It makes sense if you need to travel, you need to go on the road. It makes sense if you're at home and just need a week by week allotment. And at that price point, we think it's the right quantity to have. in the inventory that we're going to be carrying. I think that one of the main concerns has been the environmental impact of moving to more cardboard. We're happy to announce that all of these boxes are recyclable, and we encourage our members to recycle when you're done consuming the shakes. But in general, the shakes will be largely the same, tweaked formulas, and those will be going live on August 21st. And we're really excited about that. We've read feedback from the change to the new 120, overwhelmingly positive. And it was great to see all of the hard work that the team put together that went into the reformulation of these shakes was well received. And it's been fantastic to hear some of the stories of people loving them, enjoying them, and being supportive of the slight changes we've had to make. We've also got a new product coming down the pipeline, which I'm really excited about, which is creamy chicken soup. That's going to be debuting this fall. And I'm so excited that as we get into the colder weather and out of summer, that'll be a new offering. I think it's important to know that we've also talked about what are some new products that could be coming down the pipe. Nothing's final yet, but I certainly would advocate for different shake flavors, varieties. Right now, only the 2 are in the queue, but there could be more coming down. So I think stay tuned on that, and we're excited to continually improve our offerings and what we're able to integrate into our meal plans. The multivitamin, switching from the blister pack to a user-friendly bottle with a 60-day supply, this just made a lot of sense from a packaging and sort of product construct perspective. And I think people will find that it's very easy to have that vitamin on your shelf in your pantry and have it part of your daily use. Going away from that blister pack to the bottle just made a lot of sense when we looked at the entire manufacturing configuration and the way that we administer these plans. Lastly, price increases, Sharon. No one likes when prices go up. I think we've all experienced this in our daily lives, going to the grocery store and seeing that eggs, bread, milk, cheese are more expensive. It's an unfortunate part of the business, but we've done everything we can to absolutely minimize the impact of these price increases. We've worked with our suppliers to figure out ways to get creative and reduce costs in the current product constructs and ensure that we aren't getting 20-30% price increases. And so what you'll see coming in a few weeks is these price increases are modest. They're 5 to 12% across the board. I think blended we're at about 8 or 9%. And many of the foods that you know and love are still extremely reasonable when compared to other options. Entrees going from $4.25 to $4.75. I understand it's not ideal, but it's what we've had to do to stay viable, to stay sustainable as a business, and to ensure that we get to the next 4 years, because things are more expensive now. And unfortunately, we have to navigate those supply chain woes that are still a little bit scrambled from the COVID era. And so what I'll say is, no one likes price increases, and I empathize with the community when those things are impactful. We truly have minimized what we did increase the prices by, and the commitment from HMR remains the same. Mission driven, we are completely committed to offering really high quality foods at reasonable prices. We are offering fantastic coaching to all of our members that want to enroll in that and get the super supportive community behind them. We are constantly tweaking our customer service approach to ensure that if you want to talk to someone about HMR products and services, you have that ability. And we're doing things like this to communicate with the community, to understand what the pain points are, to understand what the wins and losses and celebrations are, and to ensure that we're a community that is inclusive of everyone on the HMR plan. We are a company that is continually mission driven and understands the voice of the customer, because as a business, we fall apart if we don't understand what the customer wants. And so we're constantly evolving. we're 7 months into this journey, and 7 months is a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things, considering it's been 40 for HMR. So I'm super thankful, and I can't wait for the next 7 months and beyond. But those are the big changes. I think as these roll out, let's have an open dialogue and make sure that everyone understands why they're being changed. And our support staff has been phenomenal in delivering the message on why these things are happening and when they're happening. And I think that's the best we can do. And we're really happy with the response so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you just being here, sharing all these updates. And I know the community appreciates it as well. So, you mentioned transparency, connecting with the community. Those are really our main goals for these Facebook Lives and these communications. And, we post things in the group because we care so much about our community, and we want your feedback. We want everyone's feedback. We want you to all know that you are being heard, and we want to address your questions. So we saw some questions coming through when I posted about having this Facebook Live event, and you kind of touched on these, Ryan, but just want to address this so the community knows we're really listening to them. Biggest questions we've seen were, why did we change the shake formulations? Why change it? Why did we change from 18 packets to 7 packets? And you kind of talked about this, but is there anything else you wanted to share on the big picture?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go back into the details a little bit, but I think essentially modernizing the shake formulations was really necessary. These have been changes that have been in the works for a few years and kind of got left at the altar as things unfolded with HMR. And so introducing a new sweetener was really a step that was necessary to get the formulation to be in line with today's protocols with nutrition. And so that was a step that we were really excited about. Removing allergens, it just makes the formulation of the shakes much more inclusive to as many people as would like to try it. That's a very common thing now. And the ability to remove the allergens without really changing the taste or texture, super important to HMR as we try to impact as many lives and people who need weight loss, nutrition, and coaching. As I mentioned, the boxes, the formulation, and the way that we administer these diet plans, it just made a lot of sense when working with our manufacturer and thinking through strategically, how do we package these in the right way? Some of you have mentioned, why not 14 or 21? We think 7 is the right number to introduce you to a certain flavor. You can jump to a different flavor if you so choose, and jump back to a new flavor, and you're not really boxed into 18 of these from the start. If we are able to introduce any more flavors down the road, I think it'll be really fun to have the ability to continually change up every 7 days exactly what you're taking in as part of your plan. We're really excited about that. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned, the environmental piece, totally understand. We don't want to introduce more cardboard than is necessary. We encourage our customers to recycle as much as humanly possible, and having those as completely recyclable boxes, I think, is important to us as we partner with a great manufacturer that's able to produce these products.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you make a great point. When you do the 7 packets, you're able to mix and match. So people can buy some vanilla, some chocolate, some cereal, and just have a lot of variety, which I think is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one last question that I saw people ask is, will HMR slowly change structure to be similar to Profile Plan?
It's a great question. If many of you know, some of you don't, our ownership group has another brand under our umbrella called Profile Plan. Profile Plan is a great company. It's been around 10 years, so a bit young compared to HMR, but still a fantastic weight loss brand that services thousands of customers. We completely intend to run these brands separately. And what makes HMR great is different than what Profile does. The secret sauce that each brand has is different. And in the 7 months that we've been operating them, we've realized that. The plans with HMR are to continue down the path that many of you have been familiar with for many years, quite frankly. We have no plans to change that. These are different consumer brands with slightly different value propositions. Those of you that are excited about HMR know, love it, and have been around for many years. That's going to continue. Slight changes to formulations, packaging, branding, that's all part of modernization of the HMR brand and the ability to put our own stamp on it as a new management team and ownership group. And those changes are being made to increase the ability to administer the HMR program to many more people. They're not being changed for the sake of change. And so that's really exciting to us. We have no intentions of cross-pollinating the brands in any way that's going to change the way HMR does business and the way that HMR serves its customers. And so we're really excited about that. That was the plan going in. And who knew back in December or January if that would be the case? But I'm so happy to say that that's absolutely the case. We have no real plans to change the way HMR does business, and all the hard work for the last 7 months has been to drive fidelity into the HMR program as it was. And as we embark on the rest of the year and into 2024, and Q1 hits with the big diet season push, I think you're going to see a bigger, stronger, more adapt to change HMR. And that's a changing marketplace, not a changing company and program. The market is changing fast. And if HMR doesn't adapt, modernize, and become efficient, there's going to be trouble. And we want to have the next 40 years celebrated at HMR wholeheartedly. So we're really excited about that. And it's fantastic to be a part of the journey.
Yep. And we're excited to have you on this journey with us. And I apologize. I thought I put all my devices on silent, but I guess one of them wasn't. So if anyone heard that, I apologize for that. And of course, Ryan, you mentioned this, but I just want to reiterate all the things that we're so committed to keeping the same. And it's really just connecting with our community. We have such an amazing community and we love connecting with you. We love supporting you all. And we're going to continue to be transparent and just continue to support you, with your goals. So Ryan, thanks again for being here tonight. Thanks for being transparent, for connecting with our community and just sharing all these updates. I know I speak for all of us in HMR when I say we're excited about the future of the business, and especially excited about the opportunity to just continue to support people to lose weight and live their healthiest life. As we're approaching the end of our discussion, any other comments that you wanted to share with the community, Ryan, before we sign off?
I think just gratitude for all of you that have stuck with us through an extremely rocky period. The voice of the customer in this community specifically has been one that we've gone to many, many times since this journey started in January, because it is the most real and authentic voice of the customer that we have access to. And so thank you all for staying with us, staying engaged, being patient when things aren't moving as fast as you had hoped. Inventory, so our supply chain, it was challenging to work with our suppliers and get everything lined up. We had many late nights and long conversations with them in order to get product as quickly as humanly possible. And we did that. And there was outages, and it's unfortunate. And we had some difficult conversations internally about how to make these go away. And having the inventory back, entrees are back, many of the shakes are back. And I think soon every single shake will be ready to go in a few weeks. It's been a huge win for the team, the entire company, and for the community. I truly thank you. As we make slight changes around the edges, be patient with us. I know change is difficult. Many of you have been around for a long time, and change can be scary. But what I'll say is we are changing things to make HMR better. We're not changing things for the sake of change or to squeeze out an extra dollar. We're truly thinking long-term, and how do we stand up a business that can be sustainable, enduring, and continue to grow, because we're still small compared to what we used to be even last year. And as HMR scales and grows, we're going to have more opportunity to do a lot of fun things like new products, services, new opportunities to interact with the brand and new highlights for our program and protocols that I think will really be exciting for you all in the community and every other customer that uses HMR and has used HMR. So thank you all again. Really happy to hop on for a few minutes and chat with you, Sharon, and answer some questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you everyone for joining us. Just know as we make these small changes, any updates will be communicated through our Facebook group and through email, but we just appreciate you guys being here with us tonight and sticking with us. So have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.